Yep. We are back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
as the title rightfully says, Manchester sees red. It was a rough day for United fans. Um, what's your thoughts on the game?
Well, they start off well, as in Spurs start off well in that game.
Mm,
Um, in terms of the amount of pressure that they put on Manchester United, uh, Manchester United just didn't have a way out of their final two, or very
mm,
rarely they were able to move outside of their final two. And there was a constant pressure from Spurs. And I guess eventually that pressure reap the fruits of that pressure, where Van der Ven actually made that fantastic run and then squared the ball across, well, from his half, defensive half, straight across to the attacking half, and made that across that Johnson just basically tap in. Van der Ven being considered to be the fastest player within the Premiership right now. So I can understand his pace being a problem. However, in my opinion, I might be the cynic in me, someone who
mm.
likes defending. Yeah, he wasn't getting past me, bro. I take the yellow. I would take the yellow.
He was
Yeah,
coming down.
yeah. He was coming down. He was coming. He had to stop that momentum.
But I mean, it was
Obviously not
early
in
in
the
the game.
box.
It was early in the game to take a card like that though, a risky card like that though, especially
Well, I
considering
mean,
what happened later on. Well, coming down to the end of the first half.
well, yeah, but still, momentum is a hell of a thing. And if it's one thing that dribblers or persons who have pace have is that once they get that momentum, it's hard to stop them. So for
Mm,
me, I would have done it. I would have taken that card. But no one fouled him. He got that ball across. I said Johnson with the tap in. And then it went from bad to worse. The red card that Bruno Fernandes got, right? Now, I know we had that discussion about it, and it was like we could see that it wasn't his intention
mm-hmm.
to tackle that high. However, when you really think about it from the perspective of a referee or whatever the case may be, you can't really take intention into consideration because I could break your foot and suddenly really
And
intend
then
to tackle it that hard, right?
true,
So
true.
at the end of the day, the outcome is the outcome. So to me, it was a valid red card. It was unfortunate because we know his intent was not the slip really make him kind of kick out his foot more than he really
Mhm.
wanted to. But at the end of the day, that's the outcome of that particular movement. I mean, everything from there was kind of downhill. Mason Mount came on, didn't really do anything. I mean, it's hard to do
Listen,
anything with 10 men. Yeah. Early in
but still though,
second half.
he picked up a card in like the first 2 minutes of him being on the field. So
Yeah. But that's what the sea red, right? Because the amount of yellow cards that Manchester United got for some not so well timed tackles and pull downs and things. You can actually see that the team was frustrated with the way that Spurs were actually playing them. So Dallo got a very weird card too by pulling down his player. I can't remember exactly which play it was.
I think it was
Kulusevski
Johnson.
was Johnson. Yeah,
Mm.
Kulusevski also had a really good game for Spurs. We scored the second goal early in the first half. And then, well, Manchester got a little bit of momentum around the 60th, 65th minute. Made some. It looked like if they could have scored at least one goal at least, but it didn't work out like that. And well, the third one came in from
So,
Solanke from the corner, and that was it there. That was the end of the game. Time to bring on some youths to get some experience.
yeah. I mean, Spurs really dominated the game. I mean, we had the discussion about after the card that to end the half they should have kind of pressed to kind of kill off the spirits of Manchester early, but they did it in the second half. I think within the first 5 minutes or so they scored the second goal.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And then as you say, Solanke at the end, coming down to the end of the game there, he had the final goal, the third goal to really ice the game. Um, Manchester didn't really have much going on. Rashford was piss poor. His passing was atrocious. Or I think it came off a deflection from the yeah. So I mean, Rashford was trash. Garnacho had his chances. When Casemiro came on, they got a bit of a boost. Um, but the third goal kind of just kill it off for them. For Spurs, though, the downside for Spurs is Timo Werner. He was, I mean, we now see why Chelsea didn't want you, why RB didn't want you. It's like, dog, you had at least three clear cut chances to score. One in the first half, you shoot directly to Onana, and the other two was on a breakaway, I believe, and just more the same. So, I mean, Son needs to come back quick to, to put Werner back on the bench. But other than that, Spurs had a very, very good game. No complaints. Manchester, I don't know. We keep asking what's wrong, and the only constant is the coach. So, I mean, at this point in time, really and truly, maybe they need to probably start and look for a change as to who to replace him with. I can't say at this point in time as yet. There are no standout names that are available. I mean, we mentioned Zidane, but I don't. Is Zidane up for that challenge? Maybe, but in terms of big names, I don't. I can't think of any big names off the top of my head right now. But maybe they need to make a change in terms of the coaching because something is definitely wrong and the team is just not clicking at all.
I have a difference in opinion though. I'm not saying that as the coach, Ten Hag doesn't have some level of responsibility to take for the way that they played today and how Manchester played today. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that at some point it has to be the player's responsibility. And while Rashford passing wasn't good, I would say the vast majority of or all the players, their passing, their touches weren't good at all. And Spurs was able to capitalize on that and keep the pressure in their attacking half. So to me, maybe yes, Ten Hag can maybe set up the team a bit better because everyone knows how Spurs is going to approach every game at this point. They have one plan, plan A, and if plan A is not working, plan B is to do plan A better. So they don't really have a
A1
way.
and A2.
Yeah, yeah, if you want to need to, but they don't really have a difference in plan. So maybe yes, they
Mm-hmm.
could have set up the team in a way that could kind of counteract that a bit. But at the same time, you can't account for Bruno's red card. You can't account for the poor passing and overall poor play from the team. You can't account for the frustration that the players had and they weren't really making good defensive plays. So I would 100% blame him for this particular failure.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do get to, at the end of the day, that's the guy that's responsible. You are the person, the manager is the one that has to take that responsibility when things go wrong, and things went very wrong today. But I still say that from all the coaches from since I say maybe from since Van Gaal, or it could even be further back, there's some constants inside there in terms of some of the well, at least one player, Rashford. I still think that he is still looked at to be this promising player when to me he isn't. So for me, he doesn't make sense there. They now get
Mm-hmm.
back their striker, so maybe that can make a difference. But that midfield doesn't seem to be effective against most of the major
Oh yeah,
rivals
this looks.
within the Premiership. Yeah.
But they had a nice. I think it was last season. They had a nice young group that were kind of grooming, which was Menu, Garnacho, and I can't remember who's the other player. I think it was about three or four of them that
Hmm.
they were kind of coming along, growing together and growing strength to strength throughout the season. Um, I think that is what kind of catapulted them to winning the FA Cup, basically. So what has happened between what I would have been, let me say May and 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 August, let me say, even say up to now October. Well, yeah, September heading into October. What changed? Because you can't tell me that yeah, you have a core group of young players and they haven't changed them. And you had them working in such a way where it is they actually won you a title last season, right? And now it's like you're not really seeing that transition into them being creating more wins or even some more goals as a matter of fact because they aren't really scoring. They haven't been scoring for a while. So what has happened in that time? And that can't just be the players alone. That has to be something with the management. And Ten Hag is the management. So what's and you've brought in new assistant staff around. So is it that what the assistants are not good, or is it that the assistants doesn't fit the main manager? What something has to be wrong.
I mean, every season isn't the same, right? So even though you may have players who were looking great last season, that doesn't mean that it will translate one time into the following season. Um,
Fair, fair.
Definitely in losing a striker, because Hoyland, I think, only made his appearance today for the first time for the
Mm-hmm.
season, if I'm not mistaken. So having him out, that's a big difference. And then the striker that, well, the person who's playing in the striker position was either Bruno or Zirkzee. And being new to the club, now adapting and not really being a striker, that's a
True.
way that you could actually not have the amount of goals that you expect at that point in time, because that person is still adapting to the role and to playing within the English Premiership with
Mm-hmm.
brand new players. So that's a learning experience there. When they got Euro defender, Euro got injured, has been out for a while. Mano's out injured now. So there, I wouldn't say that injuries are the only reason, but definitely it plays a part into the kind of stop-start type of season that they had from the momentum that they had from last season into this season. We
Mm-hmm.
could even look at Spurs. Spurs is also very stop-start, but again, I think Spurs' problem is they only have one way of playing, and if that doesn't work, as I say, they just try to do it better rather than being able to adapt. So I think that is Spurs' problem. But I
Yep.
think Spurs' plan A today was just fantastic for this particular game, rather than they did anything
Well,
tactically different from what they're doing previously.
right. I suppose. I suppose. I mean, we keep saying this season is young, but we're starting to see trends developing. So it's just to see like which team breaks those trends, which team can overcome whatever hurdles that they are presently facing. And Manchester seems to be facing another high hurdle this season. So maybe they get it together later on. Maybe they make a change by then personnel or the coach. So let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, all the new guys, all the new talent that they got gets a chance to settle and they can actually play some better football than what they're playing right now. But I'm waiting to see. I mean, by the time Christmas comes and January comes around, it might be too late. But
Mhm.
I'm waiting to see at least till that time to see if there's any major change in the way that Manchester United is playing right now.
All right, cool. Well, we wait to see. Coming up later on, we
Yeah.
have the key matchup of the weekend, the Madrid derby.
You can
Let's
say
see.
second because it had Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich.
Bayern
So,
Leverkusen, right.
yeah.
So, all right, any predictions before the game starts? Any predictions for the Madrid derby?
I'm a Real Madrid fan, and I'm very pessimistic. I don't see a win for Real Madrid, to be quite honest. If they
Mm,
prove me wrong, that's great. That's even more time to celebrate. But Atletico Madrid tends to be a very difficult opponent for Real Madrid. Ever since ever since Simeone came on, which is could be about a decade now. He
right.
has been he has been a thorn in Real Madrid's side, whether it be Real Madrid wins, but a lot of physicality in the game, and players need a lot of rest to get over that, or rather it be
Mhm.
they just pour whooping on us. So I I'm pessimistic about it. If we get through it, at least with a draw, I'm happy. If we win, yeah, over the moon. I won't lie.
As you, was you ready to give a prediction there, though? Yeah, that's kind of
My prediction is that we're going to lose. That Real Madrid is going to lose. That's my prediction at this point in time.
lose handedly or like a close, like a 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
I would go with lose at least. I would say 2-1. Atletico
2-1.
Madrid to win 2-1.
That's not a bad prediction. I was kind of wavering on that and actually a 2-2 draw. So let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, yes, how it goes. It's happening just now, so you
Get
don't
your
know.
popcorn ready.
Yeah, yeah, right. All right, man. Well, let me close off this one here, and I guess you will come back for a review on the Madrid derby.
Yep. Until then,
All right, cool. Peace.
peace.